Ava?
You guys were obviously missing a bunch of guys. How do you feel like your everybody else handled it?
No, I thought we fought and battled and we gave ourselves a chance. We had a couple of possessions late. I thought Rolo had some drop off passes to him and we didn't convert those or we didn't make those. But we competed. We competed. We didn't make Russell made 4 threes. But after that, we had a lot of, I don't know if they're all were open, but a lot of them were good looking threes. And, in order to win with a lineup, a lineup that's not playing, that's really good, you got to make threes. And we didn't do that tonight, but we battled, we fought, and we gave ourselves a chance with our toughness and physicality. And that's what we wanted to do.
Speaking of Robin, how big was he off of the bench? I think it was his first double-double of the season. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, he was good. He gave us, some low post scoring and kind of calmed us down. It even gave Russell a blow during the game. Just threw it inside and let him go to work. He has an array of moves and he can score in either block. But those points were much needed. Him and Alex, every bucket needed. But we needed to come up with a 3-point game tonight, and we didn't. That would have took us, gave us a better chance to win the game.
Chase?
Yes, Scott, they were able to make a ton of threes, 10 of them in the first half. Were they just knocking down well-contested shots, or is there something you guys could have done?
No, there was mistakes. It was the mistakes. We talked about it. We cleaned it up at halftime, but if you're not making threes and you're giving mistake threes, you're going to be in for a long night. We got some guys that have to work on those things. We don't give up strong side threes, and we do that. We knew that they were going to have some reverse actions up top, and we gave that away. They give us a non-shooting big, so we didn't do our perimeter players gave up on a lot of threes when we don't need to do that. We can force them into our big that's waiting for them. But you got to be locked in. You got to be locked in that first half, and we weren't. And we fouled too much, and then we made too many mistakes on the 3 and transition points. But we did clean it up in the second half, much better in the second half. But in order to win a game like this, it's mental. It's mental. You're not gonna. When you have a lot of guys out, you're not going to out talent teams. You got to mentally be tough and mentally be physical. Throughout the game, and you can't have those mess ups. And we had too many in the first half, but we made some adjustments and they cleaned it up in the second half. They gave us a chance.
And I know it came in a loss, and you've talked about the offense, but just what can you say about how Rui stepped up tonight, scoring 30 points?
Yeah, Rui's, I'm telling you, he's coming along. He still has a few more levels of getting better. And that's the thing I love about him. What he is after a little over, 90 games in his NBA career. Give him, third or fourth year. We're going to see him become really like a high level player, because he's just learning how to play smaller players on the defensive end. And when he picks that up consistently, now you're talking he can guard 1 through 4 and occasionally 1 through 5s. And the thing I like the improvement here, and I think him and Russell have the synergy together on his early runs. A lot of times, when you offensively take a shot, the defensive balance is guards have to balance up. And if we can get a rebound, because Russell gets 100 defensive rebounds a game, so if you run, you're going to get post ups with small guys on you, and you can see the last 5 games have been more. Russell's throwing it over the top. Bigs or smalls are they're in jail. He gets in them, puts them in the basket, and that's what we need to do. And they got good synergy lately.
Fred?
Hey, Scott, building off of Rui, you guys have all talked about how much more aggressive he is. What have you seen from him off the ball, though? From I remember last year, so much of his game off the ball was just kind of standing around, and he talked so much about how spacing to the NBA game was a big adjustment for him. How
Mhm.
would you evaluate where he's at now compared to where he was as a rookie in that aspect?
It's definitely improving, Fred. I think he's seeing the plays develop. And when you get really good, you can't wait for it. You got to have the vision and anticipation, because if you wait for it, that plays past. That cut, that spot, that's over with. We're on to the next play. And Russell plays so fast and downhill that you got to be on time and on target on your cuts, and you got to know what you're doing. And he's gotten a lot better. It's like I said, you're going to keep coaching them, and in a year or two, it's even going to get better. And that's what I love about him. He's a young player, and look what he's doing. Young players, the feel of the game is just, he's at the tip of it, and it's going to keep getting better because he wants it. He wants it. And Russell, like I said, I see it off the court. You guys see it on the court. I see it off the court. He's always challenging. Come on, man. You got to do it every night. You got to do it every day. You got to do it every film session. You got to do it every timeout. You got to do it every halftime. You got to do it. You got to lock in every game. And that's something that doesn't show on the stat sheet.
And another topic, Jerome was out of the rotation for about a month and a half, and he started him last game, played him 36 minutes tonight. What has he been showing you to kind of have this stark change in terms?
Well, I mean, he's playing because we got a lot of guys out. We got a lot of guys out, and then we don't want Garrison to come off the bench. When DB comes back, when Brad comes back, when Ish comes back, when Raul comes back, there's probably not going to be any minutes. So that's just the reality of the situation in this league. There's a saying, you gotta be ready. You can't get ready, and he's been ready. I mean, I don't think he's played lights out, but he's played solid. He hasn't made any shots the first two games. He made some shots tonight. That was good defensively. He's been all right. But when those guys come back, the minutes probably are not going to be where they were the last couple of games.
Ben?
Hey, Scott, just curious kind of where you see Denny's game right now at this point in his rookie year.
Up and down, but it's very common. You look at it. You can go to the history of the game. It's not always roses for rookies. It's not an easy game. It's not an easy league. These are the best players, the most competitive players, the best athletes all assembled. And there's 450 really self-motivated, well-conditioned athletes that are competing every night. And it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment for him. He's made some strides. He's taken a step back. He's taken a couple of forward. He's taken a couple of back. He's taken one forward, two. At times he's taken a couple of leaps forward, but that's normal. That's normal. You look at, like I said, you look at the history. I mean, I'm not saying that he's has a chance to be an MVP, but Giannis is a back-to-back MVP. If you follow the league, a lot of rookies, have up and down. Giannis, I think, averaged 6 points a game. And then next year, I think he averaged 12, and then I went up to 17, and then now he's best player in the world. But that's part of it. That's part of growing in this league, and you gotta earn it. And he's getting some valuable minutes. I mean, he needs to play better, and we want to have him play better. And tonight was a rough night on both ends, but it's a lot of things that he can look at and challenge himself to get better, and he will. He's a hardworking kid that cares. I mean, he just got out of his teenager years 2 months ago, and that's not always easy to do. And being in a new country and playing, it's hard. But I give him a lot of credit. I think he's adjusting pretty good. And like I said, if he keeps working, he's going to be a really, really good player in this league. Next year is going to be better. The game's going to be slower. The following year after that is going to be slower. But, tonight, when you're not making your shots, one thing I need him to start thinking about, like I told him during the one timeout, I asked him if it was a good shot. It was a wide open three. he struggled to say yes. I said, no, that is a good shot. But remember, you have options. You can shoot it or you can drive it. You are a good right-handed driver. So you got to do those options. When you're not making shots, you got to get to the free throw line. I blame this game on Russell. He finally got aggressive and got to the free throw line 3 times in the last 30 seconds. You know, he wasn't playing aggressive basketball for 47 minutes and 30 seconds. And he finally did that. Look, and he got free throws.
Cool. Thanks.
There was
Last
sarcasm in that, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Coach. Christos, go ahead.
Hello, Robin. Hope you are doing well. Would like to ask you about Rui. What impressed you most about his progress during this season?
He's been really great for us on both ends when we need him. I think he's really taken the initiative he's taken the initiative. He's stepped up, and I think he's really embracing being who we need him to be on both the offensive and defensive end.
Thank you.
Rich.
Hey, Robin, how difficult were the Hornets to defend tonight?
They do a really good job of moving the ball, pushing it in transition, and getting open threes. I thought we did a better job of guarding them in the second half, but it's tough when they're hitting threes. We definitely could have been more locked in. I think we all agree there.
Ava.
Hey, Robin, something we're hearing about so much this season is your and Russ's and Brad's effect on the younger guys on this team. Just how can a vet instill confidence in a younger guy? Like, sorry if that's a base question, but how can you guys have that effect on guys like Rui and Denny? Is it just talking to them and, telling them to believe in themselves as easy as that?
Everybody has their own style. Some are more vocal than others. Some lead by example. Some are perhaps a little tougher, spare the rod, spoil the child. But I think I like to encourage a lot. Pat on the ass. Hey, good job. You could have done this. You could have done this better. Keep at it. It's different. It depends on the player.
You guys do have so many different players on different timelines. Do you feel like as a roster, you've kind of figured out that chemistry part of it of just who talks to who, or was that pretty immediate?
Maybe a little bit. Like you said, I think it takes a little time. It takes a little time.
Fred.
Hey, Robin. I know that the way you've kind of rebounded, at least ever since I've seen you play, is that you've always been more of a team round rebounder than an individual guy where you kind of box out, you clear out space, and whoever grabs the rebound tends to grab it. Was there ever a point in your career, like when did you learn how to rebound like that and kind of start to carve out that sort of identity?
That's always been my mindset. I have a lot of respect for, individual rebounding numbers, people who do that, but it's always been my point of view that a team's greatest success in that facet is based off team rebounding numbers. If your team secures the ball, that's going to be better for everybody. I think that's going to lead to a better defense, better offense getting out in transition.
When you're younger and you're not playing, I'm talking like really younger, maybe high school, middle school, and you're not playing with obviously people who understand the game at an NBA level because they're kids. How does that sort of mentality work? I mean, do you have people telling you go get the ball? Do you have to be more rigid in your thought process? What is that like? I
guess I'd have to ask how young you're asking. I definitely had people tell me to go get the ball when I was very young, but I was fortunate in high school to play with Brooke, to play with Quincy Pondexter, to play with a lot of really great basketball players.
Anyone else? All right, Robin.
Thank you.